Morning peeps, good morning everyone, good morning. All right, let's get into this video. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Don't forget as well to like and share the vids. Thank you so much to everyone that's doing that. I've got the window open, apologies, it's boiling in it, but it should be okay with this mic. Yesterday, yeah, this story's a bit random, but yesterday YouTube took me down one rabbit hole. So I was watching highlights of a footballer called Alessandro Del Piero, right? You guys might know him, used to play for Juventus, late 90s, early 2000s. All of a sudden, I'm watching videos about lions. In fact, no, that's bullshit. The first video was about a thing called a liger, which I never knew existed. That's half lion, half tiger. The thing was massive. Anyway, so it took me from there to a story about a camera crew in South Africa watching two lions for 12 years or something like that, maybe about 10 years, like from cubs, and then they got separated from, so random, they got separated from their family, and then they had to kind of fend for themselves. And it's just two cubs who then obviously grew to be really big lions. But it was fascinating. It was fascinating. Yeah, anyway, sorry. I just found it really, really good. And I was watching it till 2 in the morning. I watched a whole fucking national Nat Geo, I think it's called, documentary, 1 hour on these two lions. It's true. It's true. Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury press conference today. I feel like Wilder, everyone's expecting it to be explosive. I feel like Wilder's going to come in a bit zen. I don't think he's going to say much. I don't think either are going to say much. I think all it takes is for one little thing to trigger them both, and then they could both lose the plot. But I think both are going to come in pretty zen. I don't think it's going to be as explosive as you might want or think. I was thinking of doing a live watch along for it, but there's no point. I'll just give my reactions after. Super excited now about the studio. I can't lie to you. Super excited. Been watching a few videos on things I need for it. And, you know, obviously those things cost money, but they last a long time, especially if you get good quality stuff. Like this Shure mic, I'm so happy I bought it now because I'm going to need another one of these. So that's what me and the guests are going to be speaking on. So, look, there you go. See, I already bought one with the stand. So it pays. Fight camp was revealed yesterday. A few of you, more than a few, a lot of you have been underwhelmed by it. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at it before we diss it or praise it. Let's just kind of remind ourselves of what fight camp is. The first one obviously will be Conor Benn headlining against Granados. Okay, here we go. All right, so the first one, July 31st. This is the one I'm going to try and get a couple of tickets for when I mentioned about a prize. So this is the first, this is it, July 31st. I should definitely be able to get one. That should be a given. I'm going to try and get two. We'll see. All right, so we got McCarthy versus Billam Smith. That's a good fight. Fowler versus Garcia. Good fight. Shannon Courtney's on it as well. No opponent named. Campbell Hatton. Obviously, he won't be taking on anyone as note. Yildirim versus Cullen's interesting. I mean, Yildirim, as much as we might laugh about his performance over Canelo, that's a step up for Cullen. That's not that shabby. Why are people complaining about that? That's not. Maybe it's the expectations. I think Eddie Hearn built it up, didn't he, as though this is going to be something incredible. And we know the names that are with Matchroom. So maybe we're just like, okay, where are those names? But that's the first one. That kicks it off. Live only on DAZN. I wonder if the price of DAZN is going to go up ASAP. It's still $1.99. I doubt it will. It might go up after this. I think they're still going to try and lure people in with that $1.99 a month. I know why people are upset. People are upset because there is no Dillian White. There is no Derek Chisora, those kind of names. I think maybe that's what it is. There's even no Josh Warrington who's going to fight Lara, but that's going to be in Headingley in September. So maybe that's the reason as well. There is no, I don't think I saw Callum Smith. No, there's no Callum. So there's a lot of names that are not on here. And what's going on with Kell Brook as well, by the way? Has Kell Brook called it quits? Not sure. But maybe that's the reason. All right, the second week, Galahad versus Dickens, rematch of their fight they had a few years back. This obviously is now for the IBF strap though. So it's a world title fight. Fabio Wardley's on this card, but no mention of his opponent. You got Babic versus Bennett. Prodon versus Florio Marcoux. Did you see that little, I don't know, what can we call it? Words? A few words back and forth between Marcoux and Conor Benn. Started nice, then all of a sudden started to get a bit heated. And I was like, oh, you know, his missus is there with the kid. Let's not do this. Let's not do this. We also got in there Fisher versus Sandland. Don't know who the Sandland is. Ellie Scottney. Okay. Ebony Bridges is on there. Everyone seems to be happy about that. Good fighter. Will sell the card. When I say good fighter, I mean she surprised me. Week 3, Boatsi versus Bolotniks. I'm hoping that this isn't it. Like there's more names being added, but we'll see. Week 3, Boatsi versus Bolotniks. Natasha Jonas is on it. No opponent yet. Felix Cash is on it. No opponent yet. Cash Farouk's on it. Hopi Price. Ford versus Balotti. That's a good fight. Underwhelming. That's what I'll call it. I'll call it underwhelming. There are some good fights there, though. Trust me. But again, there are names that I think people wanted to see that are not on here. You can even add Lawrence Okoli to that. People wanted Lawrence Okoli to be on this. So there are names that you're like, okay, where are they? Are they now all going to go on the AJ undercard? A lot of people are thinking that could be the thing with, especially with Chisora and especially with Okoli, obviously, who is signed to 258 Management, AJ's management company. By the way, I'll be honest with you, I don't mind the first one at all. I think Benn versus Granados, I said that. I said Benn would fight a Granados type just because Granados has been in with most decent level guys at 140 and 147. So I thought Benn Granados made sense. McCarthy versus Benham Smith's a good fight. Fowler versus Garcia is a very good fight as well. Like, these are not shabby fights, peeps. They're not. Fans will be there as well. I think it's what? Is it 400 or 1,000 fans? Something like that. But yeah. I mean, yeah, underwhelming, but not the worst. Not the worst at all. All right. What's this? Let's read some stories. Lyndon Arthur, I have to keep winning, secure Joe Smith title shot. In fact, you know what? Before we read the stories, Teofimo Lopez is this week. I just want to quite quickly see the fight card in its entirety. Obviously, Teofimo Lopez fights George Kambosos Jr. Unbeaten as well, Kambosos, by the way. A couple of decent wins as well in that. Obviously, the last one being Lee Selby, beat Mickey Bay as well. Let's have a quick look at the fight card. The fight card is all over the place, by the way. All right. So we've got Teofimo Lopez versus Kambosos. You got Michael Hunter's on the card. He takes on Mike Wilson. I don't know too much about Mike Wilson. Andy Vences takes on Jonah Carroll. He's on this fight card as well. I'm pretty sure that Vitor Belfort's on this card, and he's taking on the I don't know what the guy's got a nickname of being like the real Tarzan. It's a black guy, the real Tarzan. I don't know how real a fight that is, but they're fighting. I'm pretty sure it's on this fight card as well. Obviously, it's a concert. There's other things going on, but the real thing is obviously Teofimo Lopez versus Kambosos. I said yesterday that I think they're taking a bit of a piss out of Kambosos here. Maybe that's just how confident they are in Teofimo Lopez and saying that Teofimo Lopez is now re-upped his deal with Top Rank and that he's going to fight on pay-per-view October 2nd, I think it is. So they've already scheduled a fight or at least secured a date, which normally does happen anyway. You've got to secure these dates. I mean, you've got to be very strategic in where you place a fighter just because of, you got to look at the things like college football and NBA and NFL and what else, UFC. So there aren't that many Saturday nights you can pick. But I think announcing it before the Kambosos fight's a bit risky. Again, if I'm Kambosos and I'm seeing this, I'm like, okay, really? Interesting. But look, it's a good fight. Two unbeaten guys. That's what we want to see, right? Two unbeaten guys. All the marbles but one. Right, that one being Devin Haney's WBC belt. It's a good fight, though. Gareth A. Davis spoke to Conor Benn yesterday on my show. Obviously, Matchroom were doing their little thing at Matchroom HQ. Gareth A. Davis was there, and we got to hear what he had to say to Conor Benn. He also spoke to Eddie Hearn, but he asked Conor Benn about Teofimo Lopez. You guys have seen the images of when Conor Benn's in America and he kind of takes a photo with Teofimo. And Gareth asked him about a potential fight with Teofimo Lopez. Just chucking it out there. Who knows, right? And Conor Benn was surprised. He's like, Teofimo's actually bigger than me. That's what he said. No joke. He said it. You can download the podcast now. He said, Teofimo's bigger than me. Bear in mind this as well. Conor Benn would be around his heaviest at that time. Obviously cutting weight now because he's got the fight coming up against Granados. Conor Benn would be around, maybe he fights at 147. I'm guessing Conor Benn would have been around 160. Teofimo Lopez, bear in mind this thing was about 10 days ago, would have been starting to cut weight for this Kambosos fight. So Teofimo Lopez would probably be around 144, 143. He said Teofimo looked bigger than him. And Teofimo did. Teofimo is very, very big. Which is why it won't shock me when Teofimo goes to 140, 147, and maybe even a bit higher. That might be pushing at 154, but who knows? Who knows? Jeez. I say it like that, who knows, because Canelo ain't tall. Canelo thick set, so is Teofimo. Teofimo thick set. But yeah, Conor Benn says Teofimo is bigger than him. And he jokes and said that if Teofimo was to ever come to 147, he would leave the division or quit boxing. Something like that anyway. Yeah, but do look forward to that fight. Should we do a live watch along on it? Should we? I need to start doing more of those. We'll see. What else have we got here? What's this? Lewis Ritson, I have no problem with referee throwing towel back out. Yeah, it's easy to say now, Lewis, because, fingers crossed, all your medicals have come back and you're fine and you're okay. I think the sport is so dangerous whereby if he landed a couple more, anyway, let's all move on from it. You're okay. He made a mistake, but we're fine with it now. It's done. Conor Benn to fight for a world title by 2022, says Eddie Hearn. By end of 2022. Conor Benn has signed a new 5-fight deal with Matchroom. And the idea is that they path, obviously, a route for him to get a world title. Look, we'll see, man. And you look at who's got the world titles now. Terence Crawford. Has Ugas still got one? I don't know if he's still got that WBA. But then, obviously, Errol Spence. Errol Spence won't be... I don't think Errol Spence will be at 147 by the end of 2022, nor do I think Terence Crawford will be. So, look, there are going to be new world champions, but then in my head, I'm looking at Ortiz, I'm looking at Ennis. Who knows? Who knows? We'll see how it works. Anthony Joshua here, a line about Anthony Joshua versus Usyk coming together for September. Okay. Don't know why it's come together. It should be done. Should be done. I don't understand why it's just coming together. Hearn hits back at Arum. He's the greediest man I've ever met in my life. Arum does seem like that, doesn't he? But you also have to put some respect on Aron's name, man. He's been in the game, top of the game, for a very, very long time. So you want to put a bit of respect on that. Any other stories before we shoot off to work? This is interesting from Errol Spence. I don't want anything to do with Thurman. He's a cornball. I can't stand him. I can't stand, and look, I have to move on from it now, but there was a time when I really wanted to see that fight, and Thurman was blatantly ducking Spence. And I hate to say fighters duck because, I mean, I wouldn't do what they're doing, but he was blatantly ducking Spence. Blatantly. You know, give me one more warm-up, give me one more warm-up, give me one more warm-up. Just never wanted to fight. I don't think he actually really wants to fight anymore. I don't think anyone enjoys fighting per se. Why would you enjoy going in the ring? But I don't think he even likes the idea of it. Obviously, he wants to get paid, and I think if you put a big check in front of him, he'll do a fight camp and do it. But I don't think he enjoys it. How many fights has Keith Thurman had? I don't think Keith Thurman's had 30 fights. 1 second. Like, his activity, and some might say it's down to injury. He's had some injuries, but I just feel like he just doesn't want it either anymore. Keith Thurman's had 30 fights. 30 fights. It's crazy the amount of, like, compared to like fighters of yesteryear, 30 fights is nothing. Do you know what I mean? Nothing. Obviously, he's had no fights in 2021, no fights in 2020, 2 fights in 2019, no fights in 2018, 1 fight in 2017, 1 fight in 2016, 2 fights in 2015. Like, this man has been a part-time boxer for 6 years. For 6 years. He just doesn't want it like that anymore. Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame. I just don't know how people are going to look back at Keith Thurman, because there was a time when he ruled, he was the number 1 in the 147-pound division. Maybe because he wasn't number 1 by a stretch. Like, you think of his wins, Danny Garcia, split decision. Sean Porter, close fight, very close fight. You know, so it wasn't like he was murdering these people when he fought them. Although, you know, he unified, he wasn't killing kids, was he? 2 seconds. Right, I think that's it. I think we're done. There's not much else. There's little bits and bobs here. Plant here saying, I've been envisioning becoming an undisputed champ since I was a kid. All I thought about. We'll see how it goes. Because, I mean, you got to beat Canelo. And, boy, that's no easy task, is it? That's no easy task. When is Montiel Charlo? 2 seconds, peeps. Good fight, that, you know. Loads of big fights coming up in America, by the way. Loads. Oh, shit, it's this weekend. It's this weekend. Right, we need to do something. We need to do something with that. Sorry, people. Didn't know it was this weekend, you know. That's a great fight. All right, we'll do a video about that tomorrow. Peace and love.